It's live on the marketplace, and today marks the 30th anniversary of Africa Industrialization Day. The African Union in 1989 declared November 20 every year as Africa Industrialization Day to, among others, mobilize African leaders and other international organizations to advocate for the accelerated and sustainable industrialization of the African continent. In-house researcher Philip Namfuri joins us now with a summary of the evolution of Ghana's industrial agenda and where we are today. Philip.
Emmanuel, thank you very much. So I prepared for us 4 different slides that's going to walk us through Ghana's history and where we are today with regards to industrialization. So before independence was gained by Ghana, we were mainly an extractive economy or a resource-based economy where we were digging out for the colonial masters to more or less feed their industries. So you see something here that I found, and then it's from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And it says, industry rather than agriculture is the means by which rapid improvement in Africa's living standards is possible. And he said this in 1985. So you realize that at that time, Nkrumah with his fundamental socialist ideology saw that there was a need for us to push with the industrialization drive. And we decided to take some bold steps. And I'll move on to my next infographic that gives us a snapshot of how things were back in the day. And you see that Ghana's industrial sector or Ghana's industrial drive, we can categorize it into 3 main areas. So from 1960 to 1983, we had state-led import substitution industrialization strategy. Then from 1984 to 2000, we had the structural adjustment programs of the IMF and international financial institutions, that's the IMF. And from 2000 to date, we've had private sector development and reforms for the investment climate. So if you look at it critically, there's obviously a rise and fall of Ghana's industrial sector. I'll move on to the next slide and I'll show you what exactly the numbers were when it came to Ghana's industrial sector. So you see that back in the day, we had the Volta Aluminium Company, Valco, we had sawmills and timber processing industries, we had cocoa processing industries, we had breweries, textile and garments, I beg your pardon, pulp, paper, and cement. And the manufacturing sector in that time grew from 2% to 9% of real GDP between 1957 and 1969. So you see that at that time, there was a boom in Ghana's industrial sector. Let's move on to the next slide and let's look at what it has to say. So, okay, yeah, this is the one that talks about, very good. So you see that over a course of 2014 to 2019, and this is from the 2020 budget, you see the trajectory of growth rates of Ghana's industrial sector. And you see the different subsectors in there. You see mining and quarrying, we see the oil, very recent, manufacturing, electricity, water and sewage, and construction. So in simple terms, we've come from a very good place when it came to industrialization. We had a boom in industrialization. Then around the 1970s, early 1970s, when the Progress Party came in place, some of Nkrumah's reforms were changed. And we saw the economy also take a dip there. And it's basically been a very roller coaster ride, if I can say that. So we've gone up, we've come down, and today we are where we are with our 10-point industrial agenda put together by the Ministry of Trade and Industry. So yes, I would say we've come from a good place, but there's a lot of work to do, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much, Philip, with that chronology of the performance of Ghana's industrial agenda over the years.